This is the Recycling, Scrap Metal, Commodities, and Economic Report, July 7, 2025. U.S. weekly raw steel production fell slightly at 1.776 million tons, up 4.3% from last year, and up 0.3% year-to-date. Production has been trending up, though, thanks to the 50% steel tariffs. U.S. dollar index, the U.S. dollar versus other global currencies. It fell to 97, near a multi-year low on concerns over U.S. trade policy, but also on the good jobs report. WTI crude oil price rose to $66.46 a barrel. With OPEC's new drive now to increase production, that could lower costs. Also, this was on the new Vietnam-U.S. trade deal. U.S. weekly crude oil production fell slightly to 13.433 million barrels per day. The OPEC Plus increased production could mean less U.S. production due to lower prices. The U.S. weekly crude oil rig count fell to 425, an almost four-year low. This was on great productivity per well and on relatively low prices that have higher cost wells shutting down. Scrap steel number one HMS composite price was steady at $311.67 a gross ton. There is steady to downward price pressure for July. Tariffs are creating an uncertain demand for scrap exports. Hot rolled coil steel price rose slightly to $44.15 a hundredweight, which is $8.83 a ton on the slowing U.S. economy, but the 50% steel tariff protection is still there. Copper weekly price fell to $5.06 a pound, but remains near the record. This was on good demand, but also on tariff concerns. Aluminum weekly price fell slightly to $1.17.7 a pound, which is $25.96 a metric ton, on a tight supply, lower inventories, and lower Chinese demand. There was a new tax and spending bill signed that extends the 2018 tax cuts, but most agree will bring even larger deficits. There are added tax cuts on tips, overtime, seniors, and businesses. U.S. ISM manufacturing PMI, which is also a gauge of business confidence. It rose to 49, but under 50 means contraction. That means it was the fourth consecutive month of contraction. New orders, employment, and backlogs all contracted faster. The U.S.-May trade gap, which is the balance of trade, widened, as in it got worse, to $71.5 billion. Exports fell 4% as imports increased just 0.1%. Natural gas exports fell as computers and car imports rose. U.S. new jobs report, jobs rose by 147,000, well above forecast. 73,000 were local and state government, mostly in education. Manufacturing and federal government jobs both fell by 7,000. The U.S. June unemployment rate fell slightly to 4.1%, better than expected as well. Wall Street's Dow Jones Industrial Average rose a big 1,010 points to 44,829, near the all-time record. This was on the good jobs report and the Vietnam trade deal. Also, on the U.S. lifting software trade restrictions to China in exchange for them getting us rare earth minerals. This is Greg Brown. As always, feel free to call or email me with any questions, and we hope all have a safe and profitable week.